Now, see, this would actually be a good podcast if we knew what we were doing.
He needs a permission slip.
Yeah,
I can't be responsible.
And I just start going ham with the pitchfork on this horse.
Next week on Soggy Pancakes.
I'm one of your hosts, Nathan.
And I'm the other host, Wilson. And don't forget to go check out soggypancakes.com.
Enjoy the episode. Peace. All right, welcome back to Soggy Pancakes Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nathan.
And I'm the other host, Wilson, and this is episode 74.
Thank you for joining us. We have a very special guest this week, coming all the way from TikTok. Got quite a few followers on there. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Jeremy. I'm from California, but most people know me as International Spider-Man.
International Spider-Man. And that's on big Instagram, TikTok following.
Yeah, TikTok, almost 3 million followers. That's International Spider-Man, and it's the International Spider-Man on Instagram.
Man.
Wow. So please tell us about it. How did it, so how many current followers do you have right now?
Well, let's see, you just said that.
Oh,
You
sorry.
blanked out.
I blanked out for a second. Sorry.
3 million.
3 million. Sorry.
Almost 3 million, yep.
Okay, I missed it. I just know it as 2.7 million. I looked at it before and I didn't hear that. So
Oh, nice.
my bad. Same thing. But so did you start out having the idea of doing International Spider-Man? Like, was that your goal when you hopped on TikTok, or did you hop on TikTok like everyone else and just get on there and watch videos?
Long story short, like the shortest way possible, it started off as an accident.
Man.
Okay.
The story to that, in 2017, or a quick question, how old are you guys?
18.
Both 18, yes.
18. Okay, yeah. So I was born the year 2000, so whatever year it is, that's how old I am. So that's
Oh,
why
okay,
these-
gotcha.
So I remember it was December 2017. So I was 17. They released the teaser trailer for Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
And I saw, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. And I saw that Miles, let me get these real quick, actually. I saw that Miles was wearing I'm a sneakerhead, and my favorite pair is the Chicago ones. And he was wearing these.
Oh.
So I was like, I have to go to the theater dressed like that. And at this point, I didn't even know what cosplay was. I was just like, I have to go dressed like that. That's it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And of course, when I get there, pictures are being taken, but mostly after the movie. Everyone's like amped up and excited. They're not so nervous anymore. And it was just this mom taking a picture of me and her son. I feel like I should find her someday and like tell her about all of this. But I'll send you a picture. Like if this does get recorded, I'll send you a picture so that way you can like throw it up on there. But
Yeah, for sure.
TikTok could do their thing. We could hopefully find her.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I remember she was taking a picture of me and her son, and I remember I had this it was like a cheap Amazon suit, like the eyes are like almost like sunglasses. I can't see through them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Oh, do you have an Instagram?" I was like, "Yeah, I have a personal one, but not a Spider-Man one." And she said that she was like, "You should make a Spider-Man one so people can tag you." I was like, "All right, sure, why not?"
Wow,
And
that's interesting.
right. That's why I was just like, and it was mostly because of her.
Huh.
At that point, right when I said that, in my mind, I was just thinking that, like I'll get the pictures and then I'll probably delete the Instagram page later because I'm probably not going to use it again.
Yeah.
A couple months down the road, I wore my suit. I just decided to wear it to my local fair, just for fun. And I probably gained up to 1,000 followers that day. And there's
Really?
people, yeah. And there's people of all ages there, like kids, families,
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
and I started engaging a lot more with my following on Instagram just for fun. I really didn't, at this point, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any end goal,
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's how a lot of people start out. That's how I started out. I, as a kid, just like making videos and like editing. And so then I just started making TikTok videos because, you just make a edit to a trend or whatever. It's super easy.
Yeah.
But then it's like, when you start learning how to do it, it's fun. And you start doing it and then people start liking it. And like, like the same thing. You got 1,000
Exactly.
followers in that one day. And you're like, whoa, that's kind of cool. Right? It's kind of like a little rush.
Man, that's sick.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, I was just pretty much having fun in the suit. And then when I started engaging with people on my Instagram story, I put like a poll and I asked them, what I was like, what should I make? Like a Spider-Man YouTube channel, a Snapchat, or a TikTok? And no matter what the votes said, I was planning on making a YouTube channel, regardless of
Really?
what the
Uh
yeah.
huh.
But everyone was just either voting and commenting like, no, TikTok. Like they were really pushing it on me. And this is like early 2019. So TikTok wasn't what it is today.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Very
I,
early.
I was really hesitant too. I don't really think I knew anything about it other than like Charlie. And what's funny is my mom saw an ad for TikTok, I think like in the App Store, when they have like it
Mm-hmm.
on the app.
Yeah.
And it was that my mom was like, oh, you should download this app. It was like the rain filter, stopping it with your hand. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I was like, no, I'm good. I edit other stuff in like better ways. So my
yeah.
mom technically told me about TikTok before I knew about it.
Huh. Interesting.
Um, yeah, so I just decided to upgrade my suit to the homecoming suit because I care about like how realistic things are.
Yeah, yeah,
And Miles Morales, as of now, he's still a cartoon.
yeah, yeah.
And ever since I was younger, I would go to Hollywood a lot. And on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, there would always be people dressing up as like really cheap Spider-Man, like
Mm-hmm.
sneak. You could see the face through the mask, and they probably have like they don't fit their suit. They have like
Mm-hmm.
a fanny pack asking for money. And as a 4-year-old, I was just really aware that that wasn't anywhere near the real Spider-Man. So subconsciously in my mind, I knew that if I had the chance to be anything close to the actual Spider-Man, I would be. Um, so I upgraded my suit to the Spider-Man Homecoming suit, and knowing that, especially back then, since Tom Holland was like a lot skinnier, him and I were like the exact same build and we're the exact same height. So I
Really?
was like, okay,
That's
yeah, I was
perfect.
like,
That's
I
awesome.
was, I was like, get the suit. Let me have some fun with this. I started TikTok, and my first 5 videos got like 20, 30,000 views. And
Wow.
I was like, what the? Did I do this, or is this just how TikTok is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just kept going, and then I I like how again I like how accurate things are. So whenever I would remake scenes, especially like in Civil War when he was vlogging,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
I made the camera was extra shaky, and I mean that was probably my first video to like actually like blow up, not like a million, but like to get like a substantial amount of views. Um, and down the road, I just kept upgrading my suits, and whenever I would oh yeah, whenever I was in person doing like meet and greets, or whenever I would have my voice in a video, I would change my voice from this to sound like Spider-Man as close as I could,
Mm-hmm.
and I would pay close attention to detail. I would walk, run, sit, and stand like him. And
Wow.
this is where it gets interesting because of that. And I didn't think my suit was that accurate. You can go back and see my older suit. It's not as even if it's the same like red and black pattern. It's like a
Yeah.
cheaper suit. But
Hmm.
because of that, I blew up, and a lot of people were like thinking that I was like Tom Holland doing this for fun.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
that's
Interesting.
where you get it.
if you ever scroll through the comments, you'll see people like arguing whether it is or whether it isn't.
Huh.
Um, I didn't mean for that to happen, uh, but I definitely rode that wave for as long as I could.
Oh yeah.
And
That's
And
going
awesome.
off of that, oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say, like when I went on Instagram Live or TikTok Live, just for fun, don't know why. I would change my voice to sound like the British Tom Holland without this American accent, just for fun.
Really?
Just I wanted to hide my voice. That's it.
Okay.
And it was
Interesting.
a lot. It was a lot harder to do the Spider-Man voice because it's like more high pitched.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's so cool. That's really cool.
And I think I guess the part about it is because like that is a very that's a crazy conversation builder because like to be honest, no one would before you did your face reveal, and we can kind of talk about that in a bit. No
Yeah.
one knew who you were. Like you're just like it
Yeah,
could have
you're
been
just
any,
a
it could
yeah,
have been
you're just
Tom
a
Holland,
person.
right? It could have been anyone.
Yeah.
And that's almost like
Yeah.
the success of it is like you don't know. It's kind of a
Exactly.
mystery. I don't know.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then like I held this for 4 years. When I first started, when I was first like serious about TikTok, when I was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna keep doing this. I I planned to originally do a face reveal for my 1 year anniversary.
Oh
And
wow.
clearly, because of that whole Tom Holland wave that I rode, it lasted 3 more years. And within these three, this is like the longest 3 years of my life, just because of how much this has affected me full time, and my brain bouncing back and forth between should I, shouldn't I. But the main line was always, if you decide to, once you do, you can't take it back.
Right, right. Yeah,
So
that's
that so long to decide.
dang. That's so cool though that you had it built up from the beginning and you didn't even know what it was going to turn into. That's so interesting.
It just started from accident. Like
That's so
just some
cool.
random lady, and then your mom made you get TikTok, and then boom, you're blowing up, and then now you got a better
Right?
suit, and then people think you're Tom Holland. It's just like, man,
That's
And some of
crazy.
my friends would remind me because I would forget. They would be like, "Dude, this is crazy. You're the only person on TikTok that's one hiding their face and convincing enough for people to think that you're Tom Holland." Because there are other like Spider-Man or other cosplayers that haven't done a face reveal yet,
Yeah,
but
but
they were
they're
like,
not.
"Oh, yeah." They're like, "You're the only one that people think that you're Tom Holland."
That's so cool. That's so like that's the key to become like to getting more followers and, blowing up is to have something unique like that. And that's so cool.
Right?
And it's cool cuz it was on accident too, which makes it 10 times better. Makes it more fun.
Total
But
accident.
yeah, that's awesome.
and then
I-
you went to and then eventually, right, you just did a face reveal. Is there a reason like why you chose like right now to do it?
Yeah. So recently, I just got a social media manager, and
Mm.
he basically said you don't have to do a face reveal, but I strongly encourage you to because legally brands can't use Spider-Man in their videos, so you're probably not going to get that many. And I got my social media manager after the release of No Way Home, so I couldn't even get brand deals for Spider-Man. Um,
Mm.
we were trying to get brand deals for the DVD release, the digital and the physical DVD release, but we didn't have time to do that either. Um, so yeah, nothing was coming up for Spider-Man, not even Morbius. I got an invite to the premiere, but I couldn't do a brand deal because they don't want people thinking, oh, is Spider-Man gonna be in Morbius?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, so around that time, it's only been a couple months, but he was like, yeah, see, so from now we're just gonna have to wait for something. And because I was
Yeah.
just really adamant on not going back to a 9 to 5, I really wanted, I have a manager now. I was like, I really want brand deals now. So it's like, all right, it's been long enough. I've been having this on my chest for the past
Yeah.
3 years. I think it's time.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I specifically chose May 13th just because it was my birthday. I was like,
Oh, gotcha.
I was like, it's a special date to remember. It's a special birthday to remember. And probably kind of a side note was kind of like, it's my birthday. So if people have any negative reactions, like it'll be kind of harder for them to be mean to me.
Yeah, yeah.
This is your birthday, yeah. That's
Yeah.
fun.
So,
Yeah, I was-
what was that like? I mean, that's a huge change and everything. So, to just like, was your heart pumping as you were uploading it? Were you freaking
Yeah. So
out?
people, I literally, I spent the last 3 months before the face reveal actually recording and editing, and it was all little by little just because I knew that I would have footage to shoot right before the face reveal.
Mhm.
I've actually recorded like 3 like YouTube style Q&A videos that haven't even been published yet, and I recorded
Oh.
that before the face reveal.
Interesting.
But yeah, the day of, I remember people texting me because everyone knew about it. I'm in an acting class, they knew about it, and they were texting me like, good luck today.
Oh, that's
Not till the
awesome.
morning of, that's when my heart was racing, my chest was tight. Thinking about it now, I'm still like, just because of
Yeah,
how intense.
I'm even like,
And you
oof.
did it, and it was all like a live stream, right?
Yeah. So
Ew.
it was a pre-recorded video that I was live streaming. And
How did that
I didn't
work? Did you?
I didn't know how to do that, so I had to learn. But I was also actually like busy, like super busy, like every single day, and just the fact that I didn't really know how to do it, I was like, I have to find a way to schedule this and how to learn about it. I found something on my computer that's like a program to where you go on their website, you upload the video, and they just basically do it for you. And then TikTok, they have the screen recording or the mobile gaming live feature. So I did it both TikTok and Instagram at the same time. And
Jeez.
I remember I was sitting right here with like the lights surrounding me because I planned to go live stream right after the video so people could
Yeah.
talk to me. I
Uh-huh.
remember sitting, and me and my girlfriend was here helping me because we have two devices going, and then we have to monitor it on two different devices.
Gotcha.
We're just sitting here, lights surrounded. We're seeing the comments roll in. And have you guys like sat through and like watched the full face reveal video?
No, I
have
haven't.
not watched the full thing.
Actually, did you post it on your TikTok later on?
Yeah, I posted it like right after.
I think I saw that. I didn't watch the live stream part of it, but I watched the video
Oh.
part.
Okay. Yeah, so you watched that one though, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the same video that I did live stream. But as you can see, I made that totally like cinematic and just like no way starts off with a black screen and like, words in the middle and
Mm-hmm.
just with all that here, it's like I had tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And I was starting to shake, and I've never been more nervous in my life. This is the most I've committed to anything. I mean,
Yeah.
clearly other things, but like not like this, not on this level. I was just sitting here watching it, seeing the comments start to roll in, and then all of a sudden, my girlfriend's like, "Wait, we can't really talk because of the whole screen recording thing. It picks up like our mic too."
I know plenty about
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I was trying to do some stuff with that. Yeah, I get it.
With the TikTok thing, she was like, "It's sideways. It's sideways." I'm like, "What? What do you mean?" So I literally had to like stop it, try again. It was still sideways. I didn't realize, because I never used that feature. Before you live stream, there's buttons on the side that says landscape or portrait. I
Yeah.
always have it on portrait. I never switch it to landscape. So I didn't figure out until the end because we were like, "Oh, forget it. Let's just stream it sideways."
Yeah.
And just post it. But then, so that failed. And well, I guess not really failed because it still played the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't, and even though that was like sideways, and I'm really nitpicky because I want it to be like, I want it to have production value.
Yeah, you want it to be perfect. I mean,
I thought that was a fail until I looked to my left. I see my computer like streaming nothing. It says it's streaming, but it's just a black screen. And I'm like,
No.
oh, I don't know what to do. I'm doing this all by myself. My girlfriend doesn't know how to do like half of what I do. She's just like monitoring and helping me. So it's not like she could help me do this. I'm just panicking and I'm shaking even more. I tried like multiple times, but I just put it in the comments. I was like, "Sorry, we're having technical difficulties." I posted on my story. I was like, "We're just going to post a video right now. Everybody go watch the video." And the main reason why I wanted to live stream it rather than just post it was because I wanted people to sit and watch through the whole thing because, the anticipation. I didn't want anyone forward at the end.
yeah.
That would have been.
That's-
So you didn't end up live streaming it? It just was a black screen?
On Instagram, yeah. But TikTok, it was live stream.
Oh, on
the whole.
TikTok.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
But yeah, Instagram, I was just like, just post it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Dang, that's
after
crazy.
that, I was like, ah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Relief. Ooh. But, I mean, is it any different now that your face is revealed, or is it?
Surprisingly, or it may not be a surprise to some people, but it took a while to sink in. I don't even think it's sunk in yet. Right now, because of my financial situation, I haven't gone out to like celebrate or traveled. I do live in California, but I live by San Francisco, and a lot of my brand deals and partnerships and collabs, they're all in LA. So something like this, I definitely would have gone to like Disneyland, and a lot of people that know me probably are at Disneyland, so that would have been a good like video live stream to do. But ever since my birthday, my face reveal, I've just been pretty much at home trying to like make new content. So it's not like I've done much, but in my mind, it hasn't fully sunk in yet.
Dang, that's
Yeah,
so
like-
cool.
I know.
Like I've gone on a couple live streams, which is actually really fun. And I've had a lot of people be like, "Oh, are you going to do a meet and greet for your fans?" And I was just like,
You should, though.
Yeah, you could.
I've had
I-
a lot of people ask me about meet and greets, and I feel like I would not be a good person to do a meet and greet. I just edit videos.
Yeah.
But you're like a whole personality with the Spider-Man aspect of it, so that would actually
Well,
be a
yeah,
cool
but,
meet
like-
and greet.
I think just because Spider-Man's been my whole personality since I was 3, not just because of social media. Once that person said that, I was just like, I have fans. Like if I go to Disneyland, someone could just come up to me and be like, "Oh, I'm a huge fan," and I don't know, that doesn't really register in my mind just because
Yeah.
I don't really think about that.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's good though. I think that makes the experience for you 100 times better because that's just the mindset you have for it. I think. I mean,
It's
Yeah,
like it's really hard to visualize how many, like, you see the number like 2.7 million and whatever, how many followers you have, and you don't actually understand how many that is. Like, you
right.
can't really comprehend how much that is, because that is a lot. That's a lot of people.
that's
And
so
now
many
granted, that's
people.
how many followers, but
Yeah.
way more people know who you are and have seen you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
Like, what's the most viewed video that you have? Do you know off the top of your
I
head?
think 40 million views.
Yeah,
40
40
million?
million. So at
Yeah.
least 40 million people know who you are, which, like,
Dude, that's bigger than like a ton of states in the United States.
yeah,
That's more
Yeah.
than North Carolina, South Carolina combined. I know that.
I think the U.S.
Dang.
is like 360 million. So yeah,
Because
Wow. So yeah,
South Carolina's
the video.
5 million and North
Wow,
Carolina's
really?
10 million. Yeah, this is 15 million. Not even close. That's insane. 40 million? That's a ton of people.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so the premise
Jeez.
to that video actually, or that like trend that I did, I remember I did it once and it completely blew up. I was just like, we'll just post it again, and it blew up again. And I was like, huh, I have other drafts because I did it over and over to perfect it. I literally
Mm.
had 12, and I posted all 12, not in a row, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
kept posting. And it's funny, out of all 12 times, the last time is the time I got 12 or 40 million views.
That's
Really.
I mean,
So I
that is
think
so many.
the main reason why it got so many views, one, because it's like super funny and it's short, which works well regardless of where you are. But it's funny, it's short. There's no speaking in there, so there's no like English to where they'll push it only to the US.
Hmm.
There's no music, so there's no copyright where of course it'll only be pushed to the US or certain countries. It was just a sound and a funny filter and like a
Huh.
laugh in the background. So that got pushed to all countries. I think the US isn't even in the top 5 for that demographic for that video.
Really.
Hmm.
That's very
That's
interesting
why
to think about.
Yeah, that's why I posted that video so many times because I realized that and I was like, oh, it could work.
Yeah.
Mm.
Dang,
Yeah,
I
so
got
if you
to
guys ever run
40
across
million.
something like that, then just keep
It's
with that.
my most viral video, which is 12 million. I posted the first time. It got like it didn't go crazy viral. I mean, it was like under 500,000 views. But then I posted it again, and that's when it went crazy. So it's like
How does that even
reposting.
work?
You just repost it. I'm telling you, half of TikTok is just luck and timing.
And the
So
algorithm?
yeah, that's another thing. I'm like not just a guy that's Spider-Man that's been posting. I've gotten to where I am just because I've literally studied the algorithm. And
Oh, okay.
it changes a lot now in different ways than it used to when TikTok
Hmm.
first started blowing up. And it changes on an inconsistent level now, or inconsistent. But now they kind of just roll out to specific people or groups of people and they test. Before it was like once a month. Um,
Huh.
but the main thing to his point, where he posts it, doesn't do well, posts it again, not too far into the future, and it goes crazy. Kind of how Instagram and the main preface of TikTok is the first, let's say, the first day. If it doesn't do too well, then it won't really be pushed. But if it does well with a different group on a different day or even the same day, regardless of when you post it, because people are like, oh, you shouldn't post during this day, this time. If the algorithm just randomly just pushes to a specific group or random people and it does well with those random people, it'll just keep getting pushed. So
Okay.
regardless, even now, regardless of what time, what day, what demographic you are, that's the reason why he was saying it's based on luck, because the algorithm really does push it out to random people in that
Interesting.
first batch.
And
Yeah.
like the first batch is the most important because that's what determines the rest of the video. And if that first batch, for example, if you're doing a playoff of like Stranger Things, right, and it goes to an audience that just doesn't happen to know Stranger Things, then they won't get the video and it
Yeah.
won't be pushed out. But let's say that video is really, really good, and but even though it doesn't end up going to that batch that likes or knows Stranger Things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Maybe in a different country that it's not out yet. For an example,
Yeah.
it's not going to do anywhere as near as where it would do, like in an area where people know of the show.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Interesting.
yeah. And like, I guess the whole luck thing is true, not just because of that, but because, when people are paying attention to the times, or we're like, oh, you should post in between these times, that does derive from people that have studied that, and it does work sometimes. But people tend to somehow look at their following and their views and compare it, but they don't realize it gets pushed out to new people, not their followers, like Instagram does.
And I always think with the TikTok algorithm too is like, I don't know, you probably know more about this than me, but it's like watch time's really big, like to view ratio is pretty big too, I'm assuming.
It's changed now. I don't even think likes were mentioned. I think they still said it helps, but I don't think they mentioned it. But
Really?
I forgot exactly what term, but like you have to finish the video and replay it.
Okay.
Interesting.
So
This is more about that, because I remember I've went back on my account and I kind of looked at the like to view ratio, and I was going on the For You page, and they're all under like 15% like view ratio for the most part, and that is pretty low, under 15%. Like there are some with 7%. I'm like, what does this do? Like, why is this still getting pushed out? But I guess there's other reasons. But I remember this one specific video back in the day. It had 700,000 views. It was like around a year ago, and the like ratio was 33% or like 35%.
that's actually
That was really good, but it just stopped at 700,000 views. Like that stuff kind of annoys me, because like that's actually with a lot of my videos. If I go back and look at like my videos, the majority of my videos are all above 1/4 like ratio, all above 25%. And so seeing all the videos on the For You page that are below that number is like kind of irritating, and I don't know why, but like it's not always based on that, but
yeah, and kind of the same situation. I didn't even look at the like ratio just because I always see the views and I more focus on that. But my fastest viewed video that got the most views could have been my most viewed video. My most viewed video was 40 million of all time. My most, like, I don't know, I feel like in my eyes it's still the most viral video, but it's like the whole Justin Bieber, the state trend where I was like dancing and then the camera was like motion tracking. That got 11 million views in like 6 days. So that's the fastest I've ever gotten that amount of views. So I was like, holy crap.
11 million in 6 days? That's
so
it's almost 2 million a day.
Exactly. So I was like,
That's
this
insane.
could be my most viewed video of all time, but it just stopped at 11 million.
yeah. There's definitely thresholds, because I have never gotten above 12 million. I have 2 videos at 12 million and like 11.5, and I feel like there's thresholds, because if it doesn't meet the next threshold, it's not going to get pushed out. And so that's definitely probably the top of the one threshold, and then it doesn't get pushed out. I see that's very common.
Wow, that's really interesting.
I've had another video. I forgot which one it was recently. Let me check real quick. It was like one of my recent videos. Oh yeah. It was the one where my girlfriend pushes me out and I like astral project out of my body.
Yeah, I saw that one. I really like that.
This one.
That's sick.
This one got technically the fastest views, right under the second one. It got almost 2 million views in less than 2 days. But it just stopped.
Yeah.
I was like,
what the heck? That is so weird.
But this time I noticed it stopped. I think I posted it in the evening, and then it like slowed down at midnight, because I'm in the last time zone. So midnight for me, everyone's like asleep.
Yeah.
even like across the world, like people are still asleep or like they're barely just waking up. And then the next day, it like almost got to 2 million, but that's when it really just died down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
So-
really interesting. That's a cool video though.
Yeah.
That's like, how do you
Oh,
even
yeah.
edit that? That just doesn't make sense to me.
That's all
That's
After
crazy.
Effects.
That's crazy.
I just remembered like the reason why I am, or one of the reasons why I am where I am today on TikTok, like my growth. It's because I do follow those pages on TikTok that are all about just growth on TikTok and social media. I don't pay attention to their pages as much now because I'm not really trying to grow. I'm just trying to really buckle down on my community. If anything, I'll lose followers as long as I get closer with my followers.
Gotcha.
That's actually the same thing I was thinking, is because I was doing transition videos. That's really kind of how I blew up.
Mm.
And, you know, I would kind of I would actually incorporate a little bit of editing in there, but it was really simple and I was still learning. Because I've learned like I started from scratch when I started TikTok, and it's been like a year and a half from when I started, or maybe it was more than that. I don't remember, but and now that I'm switching and just doing editing and like more VFX and like movie style stuff, I've definitely like lost followers kind of. I mean, I'll see like, you know, just like, if a video doesn't blow up, you know, I just post content, I'll like slowly actually lose followers. But to me, it's like I'm losing the people that lose interest, right? So then I have a stronger community and
Yeah.
actually people that like my videos, rather than just having people follow me that actually don't like my videos, because you don't want that.
Yeah, exactly.
So losing followers is not actually all bad.
Yeah, exactly. I realized that in the middle just because, of course, gaining almost 3 million is exciting. And so,
Yeah.
I was like, it doesn't start to match up with the numbers.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's the same way with our podcast. Don't you think? Like, we don't have a huge number of following, but I feel like even though there have been weeks where we've missed uploading, we'll upload 2 episodes of the podcast next week, and then we'll have the numbers will still be there.
And it's, yeah, same thing. Like we'll, because we've been doing it for over a year now.
Yeah.
And we'll consistently, like, we've actually been growing, but like, you'll have videos, you'll post like, or we'll miss a week, right?
Yeah.
We're late, whatever. We miss
Yeah.
it sometimes. And the day that we upload, I actually see a spike in listens, even though we didn't post an episode, because people are just anticipating. They're like, okay, we gotta go listen to it, because we post this Friday every week. So, and it's, yeah, it's really cool. So, hey, you audience out there, appreciate you for listening.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I think that's probably my favorite part, is that we actually, like, the numbers, they're not disappearing, but they're not huge, but they're not like going away. Like, they're kind of staying in the same area, and we are growing though, which is nice, but the community is growing slow enough to where it's strong and people aren't losing interest.
Right.
I guess
I guess it
makes
kind
sense.
of goes into my next question is, what do you see the future of your TikTok kind of looking like? The future of International Spider-Man?
Well, the whole face reveal opened doors for me to do other things. But
Like, what specifically? I'm interested to hear about that. I'm sorry, but
the main thing is other cosplays. So the whole of
oh,
You it doesn't have to be Spider-Man
that's
anymore.
true.
yeah,
Interesting.
the whole me being an accurate Spider-Man, there were restrictions, but there were restrictions that I set on myself by trying to be an accurate Spider-Man. I didn't want to be deemed a cosplayer. My whole preface was, what if Spider-Man really had a social media in real life? I wanted to be that.
Okay.
I didn't want to be a cop.
Okay, gotcha.
So I barely,
Mhm.
I mean, I think maybe even some, but I don't think I really hung out with cosplayers. I didn't go to Comic-Con I didn't do any of that. But now I can. I have a personal page where I get a couple of other cosplays. Right now I'm working on, I have my suit already. I posted it on my Spider-Man page. It's my first, oh, that's too bright.
The Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, the Human Torch one. Yeah.
Oh, is that human? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So yeah.
Um.
So yeah, that's the first one I've done now. But now I'm working on. I have a few people that actually make suits. My friend's helping me make a movie accurate Fantastic Four costume, like that same suit, because I've never seen a movie accurate one, or even like a decent. And
Yeah.
Shark Boy cosplay.
Ooh, that could be. That. You kind of look like him too. That'd be kind of perfect.
Literally
That'd be
growing.
good.
you know, especially like in 2005, there weren't like a majority, or there wasn't like a vast amount of superheroes like Moon. We have Moon Knight now. We have Miss Marvel.
Right, right, right.
Back then, it was just like the main superheroes. So Shark Boy was really like, I was like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah, that's so cool. I didn't even think about it like that. Like you could do more than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So is that where you see the future going, I guess?
Yeah. The two main things are other cosplays and collabs with a lot more people now. Just that I could show my face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah.
So now that you have your face revealed, do you think it was the right time to reveal now, or would you go back in time? Would you do it later, or would you do it
He's
earlier?
smirking.
I
Curious.
couldn't say for sure, just because my life could change next week. My life could change next month in a certain way.
Good point.
Yeah, I couldn't say that I'll hold it off for any longer. Of course, knowing the past, I could say I think it was good that I held off for this long. There were moments
Okay.
where I almost gave out, but I think it was good that I did hold off for this long.
Okay, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Oh,
Good that
yeah.
you think it was worth it.
Yeah.
But and then you were kind of talking about how you were a little nitpicky and about all your videos and stuff. Looking back on what you've done so far, is there like one thing that you would change, or do you think so far you've done it to as much as you wanted it to be? It's
So far, I've done the best to my ability. Of
Okay.
course, from the beginning to this day, there's always going to be things where I'm like, oh, I wish I could have done it this way.
yeah, okay, that's a good point.
Yeah, like I think for virality reasons, I wish I could be more animated, and I guess like those mainstream like funny videos to where like a lot of people are like, there's like two sides of the audience to where they just eat it up, which is the reason why it goes viral. But the other half is just like, oh, this is completely staged. Like videos like that where it's just really animated, it's really just fun. I'm like, I try to hold off on stuff like that because I really try to make my own type of content, but that in itself is a restriction.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so there's a point in
Interesting.
time to where like I think directly in the middle of these couple of years, I've like gotten really tired of being Spider-Man. That's like everyone thinks it's Tom Holland. They expect me to I have to change my voice. I have to do certain content.
Yeah.
I can't do certain content. I can't do anything that's close to like a thirst trap. Like any little move, especially at peak, any little move was like, oh no, Tom Holland wouldn't do that. Oh no, that's not Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Interesting.
I you mentioned earlier, kind of backtrack a bit. You mentioned you got invited to the premiere of what was it again?
Morbius.
Morbius. Sorry.
Did you end up going to that?
I didn't. So I think I had like a week in advance to think about it. And again, I live near San Francisco, and it was down in LA, which, and of course, just me being me, I love driving because I love driving my own car when I'm down there. So I was going to drive.
Right.
I mean, that's like, depending on traffic, either like a 5 to 7 hour drive. And I'm by myself. I was thinking about it, and they had the movie premiere in London a week earlier. And hearing early reviews, hearing how bad it was, I was like,
Yeah.
considering that I was like,
Yeah.
I was kind of struggling with money already. I was like, nah, I'll just go to the next premiere.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't that
I
good.
haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. Have you gone to see it?
No, I have to, just because it's a part of this whole Spider-Man thing.
Right.
I haven't yet.
Yeah, I've heard I heard really bad things, and I was just like, I'm not even gonna waste.
Well, knowing how bad it is now, I think that'll definitely help me. It's like lowered my expectations. I've been able to make fun of it to my point of view, which I haven't really seen it. I've seen people make fun.
Right.
It's so I think now I could just watch it, and it'll just probably just be funny to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's kind of shift away from the TikTok. I'm actually interested. So you must like Spider-Man, right? So, I mean, there's 3 of them. Which one's your favorite? You like Andrew
Ooh,
Garfield,
which is your favorite?
Tom Holland,
I was
or
literally
yeah.
just about to ask that question. It's
So,
so
or
funny.
Tobey Maguire. So which of your three is the favorite? I know this is a tough question for a lot of people out there, and especially for someone who likes Spider-Man as much as you do.
Yeah, you're a big
Yeah.
fan. It's been your life, so I'm curious.
And I do have an answer. Thank God.
Okay.
I'm
So,
interested to hear your reasoning and everything.
Yeah, but before I get into that, for everyone listening, for anyone even wondering the question, asking anyone else, when you do ask who's your favorite Spider-Man, the reason why there's always an argument, people give answers to a different question. Like, who's your
Okay.
favorite Spider-Man? Oh no, he did the best Peter Parker. Oh no, he had the best action scene.
Yeah.
The best story, the best CGI, the best
Gotcha.
Spider-Man, not Peter Parker. Different answers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For my answer, since I've had such a deep thought into it, overall, my favorite is Andrew Garfield.
Phenomenal answer. I 110% agree. Great answer.
Toby, Tom, and Andrew are all my favorites in their own specific way.
Right.
Definitely, Andrew. They've like ever since the beginning they've opened up and broadened him out compared to the first Toby classic. You know, I guess he was kind of cookie cutter's not really the right term to use, but you know, he was like the foundation.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Of course, they're not really going to broaden anything there. So even though I could see why people would say Toby's the least favorite, just because foundation's foundation, you know.
Yeah.
But also, foundation is foundation.
Yeah.
You could say
It's for like that was the movie, like the Spider-Man movies were like the thing to like the Tobey movies were the thing to watch, especially when, because I mean you're 3 years younger than us, and like that when growing up, those were the movies to watch.
Yeah.
And like those were,
I'm older than you guys.
or sorry, older, 3
Yeah.
years older, not younger.
Nice.
Sorry. Yeah, but those were the movies, and so it's always hard to like for me those are the classics. I love those movies. You're not a big fan.
I'm not the biggest fan of Toby. I'm not a huge fan of his acting, I guess. And yeah, but here's the thing though. I would probably say he was probably the best Peter. That's what I would say, because when I talk about this with one of our friends, Scott, he's been on the podcast before. He always mentions with Andrew Garfield, because I think Andrew Garfield's the best, but he says that Andrew Garfield's too cool to play Peter Parker.
And you hear that a lot.
Which is a totally fair argument, but I feel like with him being too cool to play Peter Parker, I feel like it makes it a lot better, just in my opinion. But that's not what Spider-Man was written as, and I think Tobey does a great job doing that.
Exactly.
So that's why I would say he's probably the best Peter Parker, because he's clumsy, and just not the best coordinated and like nerdy, and then he gets his powers and stuff like that.
Right.
I guess you could say.
And that goes to my point to the foundation. You need to lay
Yeah.
a good foundation. And if I said it overall, Toby is the perfect foundation. Like his version is the best foundation wise. And another thing that people fail to realize is that each and every one of these versions of Peter Parker, regardless of how good their acting is, they've made them to kind of relate to a certain demographic at the time. So back then, in the year 2002, when it first came out, the way the world was, if you look at the time frame, obviously we were kids, but as an adult,
Right.
if you ask anyone that's older, nothing in that movie kind of lined up to the time. Everything that they wore, the hairstyle, like their TVs was all like 80s and 90s, not
Yeah.
2000s. So it was nostalgic
Yeah.
for them, which is why people are like, oh, Toby looked too old. But back then, people like, one, they were trying to look older like adults. Two, they they kind of naturally did in high school for some reason.
Yeah.
And you could say that like nowadays for our demographic, like people in high school like our age, we didn't look like how high schoolers did when we were, even though it's like not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I think Toby really was like perfect for that foundation.
Yeah, I agree.
And I do see to where he is too cool to play Peter Parker. I kind of agree with that. But honestly, like another thing, like not everyone has to be like, or not every nerd has to be that kind of nerd.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
There's
And
a
like,
lot of like there's a lot of nerds at my school that like actually did skateboard home.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. And
But
I mean, yeah.
uh there's like a last part to my long-term answer. Andrew is my
Okay.
favorite, but with how Sony has messed up on such a big character all these years,
Mhm.
once they landed Tom Holland with Kevin Feige and with Marvel being 10 years, because we started off with Iron Man, Captain America, their characters are just it's at the end now.
Yeah.
I realize that they've planned for Tom for the next 10 years, and I know that they don't want to mess this up, which is why they made contracts to work together. I
Right.
had a theory that they've made Tom Holland's character not just young just so he could grow, but so his character, like his character arc, can grow too, just like Iron Man and Captain America, which will prolong the next 10 years. And the answer to that is, I think Tom Holland has the potential to be the best Spider-Man.
Just haven't
Okay.
seen it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How
All
many
right.
movies has Tom been in?
3.
3?
Well,
Well, I
three-
guess
three-
Civil War 4.
5.
Oh,
And
with
Endgame,
Endgame and
Infinity
that's I forgot
War.
about those.
Yeah.
3 of his own. I think, and I heard a long time ago, they've made 2 contracts, the whole Disney and Sony thing, or Marvel and Sony thing.
Mhm.
The first contract was obviously sharing him, and I didn't realize it until later on. But they were only sharing Spider-Man, but they kind of need to have his other characters, like Aunt May, especially. But legally, they couldn't use Aunt May, so they kind of went around and they called her May instead of Aunt.
Yeah.
And then same thing
Yeah.
with MJ, obviously Michelle Jones. Um,
Yeah.
And then, do you guys remember when they pulled Tom Holland out of that deal for like 2 months and everyone went crazy?
I think I do remember that.
Yeah,
It
everyone was.
was,
Everyone was
yeah, I remember that.
Um, I heard that when they made the new contract, not only did they just kind of undo it, but they've made new terms where they can share more than just Spider-Man now, which is why in No Way Home, all of a sudden her name is MJ Watson. Like her last name is
Ah.
that was her last name.
It's crazy how movies are all shaped by this legal stuff. It's,
Yeah.
It's like
I
it's
didn't know that.
crazy.
That's
There's
so interesting.
so
Her
much
name was
legal
Michelle
stuff.
Jones
Wow.
the whole time. But
Yeah.
all of a sudden, Jones is her middle name. Now it's Watson. But because we didn't know that, it like works out,
Huh.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Man.
I did not know that.
Well, we are just about wrapping up. I guess one final good question is if you had any advice for anyone, just at life, honestly, or for growing TikTok, whatever.
What would you have to say?
It's a very hard question. It's very broad, but
Oh man, one piece of advice, even in general. I think it's a bit cliche, but really just do what makes you happy. Sometimes you have to be selfish. I grew up hating if people called me selfish, but you have to be selfish, especially if you're younger, because you have to build your foundation first before you can be there for anyone else.
Okay. That's
that's
fair.
true. I like that. Build your foundation before you focus on anything. So focus on yourself before you help others. I like that.
It's fair.
Put yourself first.
Yeah. And before we to close out our podcast, we usually have the guests say like one word or phrase, and then we just stop the podcast and that's the end. So if you have a word or phrase that you want to end on, we'll stop and we'll be done.
Go ahead, take it away.
And flip.
Hey.
There you go. And we're done.